Hello, hello, and welcome back to the multi dimensions of you. I am super excited for my guest, and his name is Reginald Estelle. We love to call him Reggie. I've known him for a number of years. We've not only become business partners and worked together, we also have become friends. And he has mentored me in many of the areas that he's involved in, but I'm going to let you tell he's going to tell you about himself, but I did want to tell you that, and that he is a former attorney and moved into the affiliate marketing industry. And I want to ask him to go ahead and intro himself, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you, Reg, for coming. I so appreciate it.
Wow, I tell you, Jesse Jenkins, you are amazing. I have loved you ever since I first met you. I can't wait to get in your presence and get to
Thank
hug
you.
your husband and you and share all kinds of stuff. I tell you, I was in New York once, you guys, and I was so close to her. I think we were about 4 or 5 miles apart, and she was going
That's
one way and I was going the other way.
a
I was
busy,
getting past it.
busy,
I don't
right?
remember the whole story, but we almost had a chance to meet.
Yeah, we will.
One day. I tell you, Zoom is so phenomenal. COVID really had such a negative impact, but at the same time, it had a phenomenal impact. And
Right.
just got so many good friends. We unfortunately had a real good friend and leader that just passed here recently at
Right.
63 years old of cancer. But I think a lot of us are going to be able to meet up at his funeral because we've never met. So
Oh,
he'll have
okay.
that.
Well, that's
He'll have that
unfortunate,
effect
but it's
over.
a nice thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, we always want to take a negative and turn it into a positive. And
There you
that's what
go.
this
I
life is
love
all about.
it's all
I don't
about
talk about myself too often, but everybody calls me Coach Reg now. And they ask me, what do you coach? You coach football? I go to a lot of football games. They're like, okay, coach. But no,
coach
I
a
teach
team.
financial literacy. I try to help people with their money and try to help people to learn how to retire early and enjoy their life, because that's what it's really all about. I
Mhm.
from Kansas City
Freedom.
originally, went to the University of Kansas, got my business degree and my law degree. I was taking a lot of hours, you guys. I love to multitask and do things. So I was on the student senate, president of my dorm, joined a fraternity, this, that, and the other. And at the same
That's
time, I was
nice.
taking 19, 20, and 21 hours. So I graduated in 3 years with my business degree, and
Wow.
then went straight through to law school and became the youngest to graduate in my law class, and
Hmm.
moved to Florida and practiced law for 28 years there in Florida, doing a
Wow.
little bit of everything. We did the criminal defense, family law, personal injury, car accidents, but represented a college and did some civil
Awesome.
rights and
It's a great
bankruptcy.
field, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. Real estate closings for the bank, just all kinds of stuff. So I've just really loved my career and my life, and married at 25 years old, way back in 1990, 33 years already. Isn't that something?
Wow,
Time just flies.
congratulations. You don't hear that often anymore.
Yeah, yeah. You and your hubby have staying power, and we like to find those people that figure it out. And
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes it's fantastic,
It
other times it's not. But us that stick it
takes
out when
work,
it gets
right? It
bad,
takes work.
yeah, it
Just
takes
get
work. You can't tuck your tail and run when it gets bad. You just work through it
mm-mm, mm-mm.
and make it happen. So that's what it's all about. But life is good. I
So,
have. Go ahead.
well, I wanted to ask you, so you were an attorney
Mhm.
and now retired. What made you decide to to retire and get into affiliate marketing? I mean,
Mhm.
totally total sides of the spectrum, basically.
God is good. And I think as I look back on life, and all of us probably have this, as you're growing, your mind tells you what you like, and you're
Mhm.
good at certain things. And then you have dreams and visions of what you think you'll do with your life. And I've always been entrepreneurial spirited. And
Mhm.
I didn't even realize that it was probably because of my parents. My father owned a real estate agency. He had
Right.
a barbecue restaurant for a while. And so
Oh,
I
wow.
grew up in that, but I didn't even realize that's what it was. So I always wanted to own businesses and do things, buy real estate, all that sort of stuff. And I went to law school. And in my mind, I went to law school because I wanted to know the law and help that in my business endeavors. But as it turned out, when I graduated, I started working, and I was at the public defender's office, and then got in a small firm, and then started my own firm. And before you knew it, 15, 20 years had gone by. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even really plan to practice law. How did I end up here? So I was always telling people I would be retiring soon, and I wasn't going to do that all my life, because it's amazing to me to see some of those guys in the courthouse at 75 years old having practiced for 50 years. I'm like, oh
Mm.
gosh, that's not going to be me. So
Right. There's
yeah,
something about freedom, right? There's something
freedom,
about freedom, and
freedom.
certainly affiliate marketing does
Mhm.
allow that. It's
It really does. And I tell you, it was instrumental for me, because my father died at 70. He had throat cancer from smoking. I've
mm,
never smoked. I've never drank. I don't like any of that foolishness. But
hmm
anything that's going to hurt my body, I don't want to do. And anything that's going to put me in jail, I don't want to do. There's a fine line. So
right.
I learned that at a young age somehow, but God really blessed me. But when I was in college, I joined a fraternity, and one of the frat brothers came up from New Orleans, and he had this beautiful wife. And I was like, and he was like, "Oh yeah, she's a great cook, all this stuff." And I was like, "Man, I'm gonna go down south and marry me a Southern belle that knows how to cook." And it's just so weird that when I say things, it ends up happening in my life. Because moving to Florida to
Well,
practice
that
law, my wife is just amazing. She's beautiful, awesome cook, all that stuff. So
well, what they say is what you think about comes about,
it's
right?
really true.
And any of our desires can be met. And that's part of our mindset. We
Without a
sometimes
doubt.
as we're younger, do things as a means to an end sometimes, whether we
hmm
like it or not. In so many
hmm
occupations, people aren't always happy, but they're
hmm
doing it for the money, the family, what they need to. But then as we get a little older, they start to look at some of the things they would rather like to do.
hmm
That, oh, I
and
always wanted to
yeah.
get to do some totally different industry, or I want to get into some sport that you never
Mhm.
were able to, or I
Well,
want
that
to
was
get into
me.
music.
Yeah, that was me, because I was saying my father died, and when he died at 70, it made me realize, well, we live
Yes.
and we die. And when life's
Yeah.
over, it's just gone. So we really need to take control of our lives and do what it is that we want to do. And I saw where Rosalind Carter just died. One of the things she said
Mhm.
is, you'll never make everybody happy. So just do what you want to do. And that kind of hit me, because that's kind of how I've been living.
Yeah.
And he died, and I said, shoot, I need to go ahead and retire. It still took me another 7 or 8 years to get it done, because I had so many clients, but I just wanted to be able to be free and do things,
That's
because I was
that's
working 10 and 15 hours a day and just not seeing my family and doing the things I wanted to do.
so those are some of the challenges we go into when we make changes, and it's not initially easy, but then as we continue doing it, we get better at it, just like anything else, like riding a bike. It's a little slow in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, once we get going, we're on our way, right?
Without a doubt.
So um what would you say, if anything, would be any of the myths around affiliate marketing? We can go on, but maybe one or two that you thought of that are not really all that people keep thinking they are.
But affiliate marketing, network marketing, all of that stuff, it's pretty amazing. And what's so weird about me? I'm just always focused on the positive. I don't even see or hear the clutter or the myths or the negative stuff that much. But people talk about it being a pyramid, and only the people on the top get paid, and nobody really makes money, and all that kind of stuff. And there's truth in a lot of things. And when you hear things, you really have to analyze them. I guess my
That's it.
legal mind causes me to see everything, and I've just been blessed. I usually be able to see the both sides of a story, and I guess
Mm-hmm.
that's what made me a good lawyer. I could hear both sides and be able to pick what's in the middle that everybody can agree on. But with network and affiliate marketing, it's just a win-win for people who utilize it properly. You know,
Right.
I was practicing law and had just got married, and I think our first company, I don't even remember the name of the company, it may even still be around, but we sold water filters. My wife and
Oh,
I, we were
like,
one of the
sounds
neighbors' houses.
familiar.
Yeah, air filter, air purification systems, and water filters, and it was fun. It was cool, something to do with my wife, and then after that, we just sold a couple. We weren't that successful. But now that I think back, I hadn't even thought about it. I did the little Cutco knives and all that stuff when I was in college.
Gosh, yes, yes,
I
we
sold one
probably
set of
had
those.
we hadn't done it, we've been there, or we
Yeah,
tried it. Yeah,
yeah.
because I think what I also have found with this industry of affiliate marketing or network marketing is something that Zig Ziglar, a great author of great salesman, but also was very, very serious about mindset. right?
Yeah.
We can do all the right things on the steps to learn how to market well, but then we have to have our head in the right place, our self-confidence and the growth that we would make with regard to all of that is all important. And he had said that, and I love looking at it this way, because right away a lot of people, it's all about the money and have issues about money in their mind, and so we make a shift in the thinking. And he said, when you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want. And I know for a fact that how fulfilling it is to help other people get what they want, knowing that maybe you played a small part,
Hmm.
right? That you
Amen.
played a small part. There's nothing like that feeling. So we
No, that's
all
a big
win.
piece to it. No, huge piece to it. My wife and I have a team that we call the Capital Crew, and Crew stands
Yeah,
for Creating Residual Easy Wealth. And that's what it's all about. My wife is even hits it harder than I do as far as helping each other and making sure the team wins together. Because in network in affiliate marketing, one of the myths is that it just takes so much time, and it does take some focus and attention. But when you do it right, you can be a busy lawyer, you can be a busy school teacher and mom, you can have other things going on in your life, yet still have a successful affiliate marketing career. And what we've done, we put the processes in place where you can leverage other people. So we do the training, we have meetings, we provide all of the stuff so that someone can be successful. So you don't have to spend all your attention working on your people. We have a meeting every Saturday at 1 o'clock
right.
Eastern where we do a
Excellent.
training, and you can feel comfortable sending your people to our training, and they'll get what they need. And if a new project comes, you don't have to be afraid that someone on the team is going to steal your person and sign them up. We're real big on relationships, just like this program right now. If one of you hears something that you like and you come to me and you want to join, well, I'm not going to have you join. I met you through Jesse Jenkins, through this phenomenal program. So I would place you in her organization so she could benefit, and I would benefit, and you would benefit. It's a communal situation. And that's when I believe it works best. And that's what Zig Ziglar said. You help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want in return. And it's just amazing.
Absolutely. That
Mm-hmm.
servant leader
Amen.
mindset is
Servant leadership.
huge, huge,
Mm-hmm.
huge. Well, maybe you can share with me one of your success stories and how maybe you may have helped someone.
Well, there's a couple things. One is one of our leaders. He had been in education for many years, and he got involved with
Mm,
our program, and he was able to retire after a couple years with us, and just loving it now. He's just
how
in another
cool is
zone. Yeah,
that? Is the ultimate. I mean, that
yeah,
is so phenomenal.
mhm,
And,
yeah.
if people stick with it, be consistent, handle the bumpy roads, I think, trying to remember who it was. Let me see. Oh, Count Basie. Look at that.
Oh,
I
yes.
had that from that same little quote I had mentioned with you earlier. He says, "Learn to deal with the valleys. The hills will take care of themselves."
Amen.
How
Yeah, that's
cool
right.
is that? I
That's
love
my
to
kind of stuff.
say
I
that.
love motivational stuff. It's really what's made me who I am today. One of my good friends from college, and I'll say his name, Sharif Hazim, phenomenal fellow. We used to just be real tight. And when I got into that water filter company, I think he's the one that told me about it. And he presented a cassette tape, back in the 90s, a cassette tape of all things. And it
I
was a guy
know.
named George
One of
Zaluki.
those.
Yeah, yeah. George Zaluki. And the title of it was The Profile of a Champion. And I've
Mm,
probably listened to that tape 200 times now. I had it memorized at one point, but he goes through so many things about what the success mentality is
right.
and how he could even take a team of basketball. He was a coach, a team of basketball players who no all-stars, just a bunch of ordinary guys, but he could
Mhm.
mold them together to be successful because of the way that he taught. And
I
it's neat
love it.
because now over these last 30 years, Sharif and I maybe talked once every 5 years, but here recently, he's joined our team, and I get to speak with him weekly. And he's
Cool.
making money and having a good time in a
And
whole other world. And that's one of the things I love about what we do, because, we get older and we might be married 20, 30 years in a career for all those years, or even retired at that point. Well, what are you going to do in retirement? I have
right.
found that affiliate marketing is a great thing to retire into because
Yes.
it keeps you tied in with a group of positive people, and you have a lot of fun and
And
make some
they
money while you go.
I
Mm,
love it. And they lift you up. I'm, part of an organization of community people that we call ourselves principled centered leaders,
amen.
based on the principles that like a Napoleon Hill teaches and things of that nature. And it makes a huge difference because we all have our ups and downs, our highs and our lows, our valleys and
Mhm.
our valleys and our mountains.
Sure.
But it's the community that keeps us going and supporting and believes in us sometimes
Mhm.
more than we almost believe in ourselves in certain areas. And
Mhm.
talking about that, some of the challenges I know can be technical. How did you manage that? I don't know how technical you were prior, but some of these now, we've got all this technology and apps and everything is done on the phone and well, so on and so forth. And
Mhm.
how did you manage that? What did you do?
Well, I some technical stuff I catch on pretty quick, and other stuff I don't. And
Yeah,
it's good to be able to utilize it. When I retired, I thought that I was going to get into a lot of internet marketing and start an online store and all that kind of stuff. And I spent some money
right.
on the program, and it just was not me. I could not get that thing just figured out in my head. So, what I found out is that I just like to have smarter people around me than myself. So when I need that kind of stuff, we'll
I
let them
love
do it.
that answer. Well,
Mhm.
in the book Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talks about this wonderful story about Henry Ford. And
Mhm.
they were actually trying to say that he was incompetent and that he was just not very smart. And how could he possibly be running a business? And I don't know what their jealousies were, but at one
Mhm.
point it became a little annoying to him and frustrating. And he says, you ask me all these questions. I don't need to know all the answers. He says, I have a couple of red buttons on my phone that all I need to do is press, and those individuals will go and get me the answer. And even Andrew Carnegie, big steel mogul at the time, and he said, I didn't know the ins and outs of steel. My forte was about the managing of a company, which to me probably is more important. He would have all his tech and geniuses work on what needed to be known about what he was doing. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's what's so beautiful, even like you were saying, of a team. Everybody puts in their high talents, and we don't need to know everything. Like
No.
math isn't always my forte. I can have someone help me with that. But there are other things that that person doesn't have that I can help them with. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. That's
And,
what's
and
so gorgeous.
and two things there. One is I just commend you because I see why you're so successful because you're well read and you got this stuff down, and I just love hearing it flow off your tongue. But the second thing
I'm
is,
getting good at this now. I mean, and that took a little while. It's interesting because in our group, we read a book, right? But then our leader, a fabulous founder of this organization, and it started because he just wanted to help people. And he said, I need to study this book better. And the more I study, the better I'll become. And now he's got this incredible company. And one of the things we do is donate to this Feed Your Hungry Children's organization and provide meals for them, and all over the country. So, and outside of our own country. So it's incredible. And he basically is the individual who says, you know, okay, guys, you need to read Napoleon Hill, Brian Tracy, all these individuals are very pro read books. Well, we now have audio books, and he recommended that. Also, we've got Google, right? We've got the internet. If you need to read some great articles on your specialized knowledge, because how else do we learn about specifics, right?
mhm,
We can educate ourselves. And
sure.
so he would give us an extra credit book, we would call it, every month. And I had started to read and listen on audios. And let me tell you, it just got me more and more excited
Mhm.
because the possibilities were opening up. The creative ideas would come out of nowhere. It would answer questions I never thought about or I was looking for. Just out of the blue, these hints and winks come out, out of books. So their books are just absolutely amazing.
You're right.
Um,
And I've been on one of the calls of the group that you're speaking of, and it's just
ah,
an amazing group of individuals speaking positive stuff all the time. And I was going to say one of the things about what you said a moment ago about having smarter people around you, like Henry Ford, when they told him he wasn't cut out for that, he could have easily dwindled into the background and got
oh,
sad and
I
depressed and said, oh, I can't do this anymore. And that's really the message to people that you're giving, the multifacets of you. All of
yes,
us are multifaceted. We all have many different components of who we are and where we're going and what we do and where we've been. And it's not about being the best person in the room. You don't have to be the smartest and the most brilliant. And if you know that, oh, I don't think I can do that because I don't know what that, well, that's okay. All you need to do is be the best that you can be, and then surround yourself with others that can pick you up in those other areas. So never get down on yourself. Just go ahead and make the
sure.
move and make it happen.
Absolutely. I thank you for that because it reminded me of a topic, or not a topic, but a thought that if you are the smartest person in the room, you need to be in a different group of people because you got to be and need to be always learning, right? Drawing from others that have something that you don't know yet. So
My
that
friend
is
Clyde,
so
yeah, my friend Clyde said that about 3 days ago. We were in a conversation, and that's so true. It's nice to meet other
so
people
true.
that are, see,
And
some
that's
people they get
great.
around smarter people, and it makes them wilt even more. It's like, oh man, they're so smart. I'm not that smart. But no, it should be just the opposite. That should excite you to say, wow, I'm in a
I
new
always
organization
been
now,
that
and
way.
now I can grow to be better. It's just amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What can I just like
glean from
absorb and
this.
drink in
Yeah.
all this fabulous knowledge and know that
Mm-hmm.
they, have that information. It's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't even think I have to ask you at this point, what are your words of wisdom? Because you are laying down all kinds of nuggets all over the place right now, which is absolutely incredible because I do want to point out, and one of the reasons I decided to start this podcast was too many people pigeonhole themselves into who they are and not who they are being.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to work on who we're being. And when we develop goals and when we um, move and grow our knowledge around either spirituality or the area that you're working in, you are growing. You're constantly growing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so important that you realize that don't compare yourself. That's one of the worst things you could ever do is don't compare yourself to someone else. You are unique in your own way, and don't feel that because I'm not as brilliant financial literacy as Reg is, my coach Reg here, um, doesn't mean that I am any less. There are things that I may have and talents I have that Reg does not. That's what makes us so compatible, that we can help each other. It's always about the serving of others. So I just love everything you said.
Thank you.
And you have your own website, right? And
Mm-hmm.
where we can connect to you and what you are doing, because I know, like myself, we can get involved in multiple different projects, but that's what keeps us going, gets us excited. And so I'm going to put that in on the description below. Also, make sure you also subscribe to my channel and this podcast because you want to stay in touch with these amazing individuals I'm going to be bringing on. And Reggie is one of the top ones that I highly recommend working. His integrity is like none other. Just in his mentioning earlier that he makes sure he could easily take on a couple of new clients and new team members and never let me know, although maybe I know who they are, without my knowledge, but that isn't in integrity with the way things work, in the genealogy of the way things should be done, honesty and integrity, just a straightforward, great guy and a great coach. And the Saturday calls I can put in the description as well so that you all can check it out, see if what you hear about there is something you might like. The training is absolutely terrific. They go step by step. You don't ever feel like you're alone. And even if you didn't quite get it all, we send out the replay, which is very important. You can call people and get one-on-one connections with people. We're not about the hierarchy where the high-end people don't have time for the new people. It's totally actually the opposite. Would you agree? Right? That
Certainly.
we keep our doors open so that everyone will learn and elevate their knowledge and success in the end and allow you to expand. So I want to thank you so, so much for that. The fact that you came, you are fabulous, Reg.
Ah, you're so sweet.
And I so respect you for that. And we will actually call this a wrap. And let me just get that here. And next week, I have two lovely ladies that have their own web building company, and they also teach people on a one-on-one level. They have meetings, and that's a bit different. They help teach you how to use the tools that are needed for marketing. And you're going to get to meet them, fabulous, heartfelt, service leading individuals. And I will wish you a very happy Thanksgiving, Reggie. Love to you and your family, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you here in the US. And just have a grateful day for those that are not. So thank
And
you.
I'll say this, that I appreciate you having me on. I've enjoyed myself thoroughly, and it's a tad premature because we're doing so much stuff with the Capital Crew. Maybe you'll have me back on and we can show
Yeah.
people about growing their money and saving money and making more money and building a healthy body and mind and spirit and protecting you well, on and on and on. We do so much that's amazing. But if anyone needs to reach out to me, my name, I go by Coach Reg, and the email is coachregwins, like the coach won the game. coachregwins, wins@gmail.com, and
Yeah.
we'll assist you. Look forward to
I
it.
absolutely will put your information below this. So as they watch this, they can get your detailed information and connect with you on a one-to-one. That's the other thing that I like to provide. There's more than enough right people out there for you. And I want to share you with them because you filled my life. We've known each other quite a few years now already. So it's awesome.
It
Take
is.
care, folks, and we will see you next week. Bye for now.